This section coming up here kind of looks pretty gnarly, right? It would really shoot you out.
You gotta watch out for the turn. We don't want to hit any trees.
No.
Or roots.
I crashed.
You okay?
From the renowned mountains and fjords of western Newfoundland to the dramatic rocky coastline that surrounds the capital city, join me as I discover a world-class network of trails and a passionate mountain biking community right here in my home province. So gear up and get ready to ride the ride.
Making sure that you know why, because this is forever. And there will be no surrender.
Today I'm heading north of St. John's to the aptly named town of Flatrock to ride one of the province's most dramatic trails. I'm meeting up with two female riders, Hogg and Synnøve Lofthus. They're both come from a ways that are no strangers to sending it down the trails.
All right, stoked about it.
Let's do it. Yeah. One thing I have to ask them is how can we get more girls involved in the sport? I'm really looking forward to this ride.
I met the girls at the dock down in Flatrock. We started by getting our bikes ready for the ride. We had perfect weather and beautiful scenery, but I knew this was just a taste of what was to come. Once our bikes were ready, we started the climb. The Flatrock Trail has no shortage of breathtaking views and dramatic riding. The 2-kilometer-long trail snakes along the cliffside before opening up on the peninsula, taking you right to the water's edge.
How'd you guys find people to ride with out here on the trails?
So when I first moved here, I didn't really know anyone to ride with. So I would start going on the trails by myself, and people started recognizing me.
I also started biking on the trails by myself for a little bit, but then I needed muck off from to clean my bike from free ride, and then I met Jenny actually. So he's like, "Oh, you bike," and then we just scheduled a, I guess, bike date.
I was like, "You bike, I bike. Let's bike together."
Well, two girls that are biking. Well, let's hit this hill. Yeah. So that's what we did.
Just as we started the downhill portion of the trail, we were faced with our first challenge. A steep and chunky rock slab that weaves its way through the trees.
The views on this trail are absolutely incredible. What do you guys think of it so far?
I love it.
Yeah, I really like this section where we came out of the trees and then it was just a view of the ocean.
You gotta be careful though, because the edge is right there, you know?
Yeah, this section coming up here kind of looks pretty gnarly.
Yeah, this is our first gnarly bit of the entire trail actually. It gets a little techie, what do you think?
Well, it definitely have some different lines. It's you can go over here, you can go over here, I think.
Yeah, this one would be a faster line, I'd imagine, right? It would really shoot you out.
We don't want to hit any trees.
No.
Or roots.
I'm not gonna lie, this section is no joke to ride. It's short, but filled with jagged rocks that demand your best riding ability. If you don't give it the respect it deserves, it'll make you pay. I don't know what's more impressive, how fast Synnøve bounced back up after that gnarly crash, or her determination to give this section of trail another go. For most people, that crash would mark the end of their ride. No one was expecting Synnøve to try this section again, but she cruised through the challenge on her second try.
What about expectations on the trail? When you're riding with other guys, are they pushing you hard to ride these features?
I would actually say that we are not held to the same expectations. Sorry to say, but a guy will never pressure you to do the same, a difficult feature, the way he will do with his buddy. Nobody would be like, "Oh, come on, you can do it." It was like, "Okay, well, Jenny here, it's okay that she takes the easy line.
It's not that it's okay for you to take the easy line, it's that it's expected for you to take the easy line. And that's kind of disappointing because it never forces you to,
Be better
yeah,
and
to
do
be
the
better.
better thing.
Yeah, and there's no reason why women shouldn't be taking as difficult lines as guys, right?
Not at all.
Next up on the trail was one of my favorite types of features, a 6-foot vertical rock roll. Without the right technique, you can easily find yourself going over the bars. A year ago when I started mountain biking, there's no way I'd have the skill or confidence to ride this rock roll. It always sucked to watch my friends cruise over gnarly features while I took the easy line, which reminds me of something Jenny said out on the trail.
A lot of times with mountain biking, people like to feature the toughest, gnarliest stuff, right? Because that's kind of, a very impressive feature to do. But people don't appreciate that it takes time to build up to it. And you can start small and then work up to it, and there's no pressure to just do those features right away, right? That's not what biking is.
So how do you think the community here in Newfoundland compares to back home in, say, Ontario or Norway?
Every bike community that I've been in has been super welcoming and friendly, and it's just a bunch of people going out and riding their bikes and having a good time together.
So do you feel that the community here is very accepting of female riders?
I think so, yeah. I've been very welcomed, and a lot of people are very enthused that I'm riding because they're we need more female riders. I think that being a female, it might be a little bit intimidating because of the ratio of males to females.
You feel outnumbered on the trails?
Yeah.
So how do we get that representation? How do we get more girls out and riding the trails?
Hopefully a lot of females see me and Synnøve and the other women that are riding the trails, and you can kind of start seeing a push even in the last 5 years of more women getting out and more of a community and focus on getting the ratio to be more even, which is awesome.
I think also it will help that easier trails are built. This sounds a little degrading, but it's really, if you never biked before but you think it's cool, I can see that white hills can become very intimidating for not only girls but also guys starting off in new in biking. And then at the same time, if you see that it's other women that are doing the gnarly well, then you will stay in the sport and try to push for that yourself. But I think it's a step up.
It was cool to hear Jenny and Synnøve's perspective on the local mountain biking community from a female rider standpoint, and their thoughts on how we can get more girls out on the trails. With more representation among female riders, the more ladies will be encouraged to ride. But it's clear that to get more girls into mountain biking, we first need to build more welcoming trails, and that applies to getting more people into mountain biking no matter what their gender.
I think it's a little bit of a social aspect, that thing, it's something within the society that just makes it that way. Not necessarily the biking community, but in female and extreme sport in general, really.
Okay.
So it's not like a bike-specific thing, but we're part of that as well. I hope will get better with time, really.
Well, there's one last feature on our way out. It's a huge rock slab. So what do you say we hit it?
Yeah,
Let's
I would
do
say
it.
that. Cheers for that.
What an incredible day of riding. The Flatrock Trail offers one-of-a-kind views, unique features, and challenging terrain right at the water's edge. This was my first time riding out here, and it will not be my last.
You'd take your bike and you'd ride old trails, hiking trails, the old coastal trails that connected the old fishing communities.
A lot of people think it's really cool that we have done this. I got a friend in the Navy, he thinks it's so rad that we named all these trails after these historical events that happened in St. John's that many people don't know about.